What is going on, everyone? It is Dennis here, and in today's video I wanted to talk about this lens right here. It is the Sigma 16mm F1.4 Contemporary Lens for the Sony E Mount system, and I'm super psyched to test out this lens. I've actually been wanting it for quite some time now, but let's do a quick unboxing. So Sigma on the top, information on the side, same information on the other side, pretty much identical information on this side, and then you got the aps-c there and that. So pretty simple boxing, but looks nice and clean, no complaints there. So let's open this up. And we got the typical user manual, literature, stuff like that. Nice little clamshell to protect the lens. Ooh, look at that. Sigma Contemporary. This is the lens. Comes with a nice lens hood. It's got this cool little indicator to show you how to install it. So twist this way to put it on, twist this way to remove it. Nice. Then we got the lens itself. So not too large in size. It's about the same size as the Sony 18-135 kit lens. So just as a comparison, Sony 18-135, Sigma 16mm F1.4. So not too much of a difference in size. And the focus ring is focused by wire, but it's buttery smooth. What I'm recording on right now, obviously, is the Sony A6400, but I have the 16-50mm kit lens on there. The widest aperture is only 3.5. This has an aperture of 1.4, so it's gonna give you some nice creamy bokeh in the background. It's gonna be really good in low light. So what I'm gonna do now is throw the Sigma 16mm f1.4 onto the A6400, and let's see how it looks. Whew. All right, so what you're seeing me now is through the Sigma 16mm f1.4 Contemporary Lens for the Sony E Mount system. How does it look? So you can probably see that the background is a bit blurred out, but I like it. It's super sharp. Face tracking is pretty good. And one thing that I've noticed though is, that's super fast. That autofocus is crazy fast for it not being a Sony lens. Whew, that's so fast. Wait a second, so what are we actually working with here? All right, so that's enough of me talking inside the setup. We already know how it looks. It looks great. So I'm gonna take this out and we'll see how it does outside. Okay, so before buying this lens, I had two concerns. The first one was the lens doesn't have optical steady shot. So I'm recording with the Sony A6400. That doesn't have IBIS. If I was to use this for vlogging, it'd be kind of problematic just because it'd be very shaky. There is a little bit of a hack that you can do. So what I'm doing right now is actually vlogging with the Sony A6400 with the Sigma 16mm F1.4 lens, but right now I have it at 5.6 as the aperture. So everything behind me should be in focus. Now the downfall with this lens is there's no OSS in the lens. There's no IBIS in the camera as well. So you're probably seeing every bump, every shake as I'm walking through this little area here. So what I'm gonna do now is actually switch it to 1.4 aperture. I'm gonna have it wide open. Okay, so now I've actually set the lens to aperture 1.4, so it's actually wide open right now. If I wanted to vlog with this lens, like I said before, the downfall is that there is no optical steady shot in the lens, but the fact that we have the 1.4 aperture is you can crank it up to 1.4, have it wide open, and what that will do is actually keep you in focus, nice and crisp and clear, but the background will be blurred out. So it'll kind of give you the effect that your shot is actually being stabilized because you're in focus. You can't really see the shaking going on in the background just because the background's blurred out. It'll give you the illusion that your shot is actually being stabilized when really it's not. Or you could always use a gimbal. Just like this. Now this is the Sony A6400 with the Sigma 16mm F1.4 lens on the ZeZe Crane M2. Now this is by no means a preferable setup for this camera and lens combination. This actually exceeds the max payload of this little tiny gimbal. If you throw this camera and lens setup on a proper gimbal, it's going to give you nice, steady shots. The second concern is that this is a prime lens, so obviously we're stuck at that 16mm focal range, or in our case, since we're on an aps-c sensor, 24mm. But luckily, on the A6400, we have the capability of clear image zoom. So that actually allows you to punch in. It's not optical like in a lens, it's a digital zoom. It'll give us a clear image, hence the term clear image zoom, but it will actually allow you to punch in 2 times and give you a nice solid image. There's also the option of having the digital zoom, which actually gives you 4 times zoom. The image quality suffers quite a bit, but it still will allow you to get that further reach. Okay, so I just want to quickly demonstrate how the clear image zoom works. So right now we're recording on the Sigma 16mm F1.4 on the A6400. So I'm recording the back LCD screen just to kind of demonstrate. So right now we're at 16mm. And what I'm gonna do now is activate clear image zoom. Once I activate it, you'll see that little tidbit of information on the right-hand corner there. We're at our full focal range of 16mm, and I can basically just zoom in using the button here, and you'll see it increasing. And you can go up to basically about 2.0, which is 2 times zoom, and that'll be basically your clear image zoom. So you can see that the image is actually pretty decent, but it's punching in and still giving us the best image quality possible. Now we can actually go further and go to the 4 times digital zoom. So the image quality is gonna basically be depreciated by a bit. It's not gonna be the best image quality. Some people would probably deem it as unusable, but if you're using this lens for, let's say, vlogging, or you're just really wanna get that further reach, this will work out actually, pretty good. Back out to 16mm, and the cool thing about this is you can zoom in, you can zoom out. It works almost like a power zoom. So you have the capability all on the Sony A6400 with the Sigma 16mm F1.4. Even though it's a prime lens and you think that you're stuck with that 16mm or 24mm equivalent focal range, you can actually get a little bit more reach. Yeah, that's a really cool feature to have. Those were the only 2 concerns, and I kind of have a workaround or hacks for both of those. So other than that, this lens is very versatile, very useful, and I love it. Alright, so we're back in the studio, back on the 16 to 50 millimeter kit lens on the A6400, and I've had a few days to film with this lens, and bottom line is, I love this lens. This lens is a badass, it's a beast of a lens. It's super, super sharp. The autofocus is blazing fast. The 1.4 aperture gives you really, really cool background separation, background blur, bokeh, whatever you want to call it. It just looks really, really cool. Two things I wish I would have addressed more or been able to test more are the low light capabilities. Now this has a 1.4 aperture, so it's really going to be good in low light. I had a very small amount of time to test it. It was basically in the montage where I'm walking to dinner with my brother and his fiance. Not much footage there, and I'm sorry. Maybe I'll do a future test of low light with this lens on the A6400. But from what I saw, it looked really, really good. I didn't use any other lighting. The autofocus was spot on. So low light capability, which I haven't really seen much of, but what I did see was phenomenal. Yeah, awesome. The second thing is the weather sealing. So this is rated as a weather sealed lens. Usually what that means is it's splash proof and dust proof. I don't know how splash proof and dust proof this really is. I would say, yeah, it's probably splash resistant and dust resistant. It's not an action camera lens. It's just a really cool lens that happens to be weather sealed. So just be careful. I didn't really get to test it out. I don't know how you would really test that out. During the montage there where I was filming my dogs playing in the water, the lens actually got water splatter on it. The camera did too, and it was totally fine. I just wiped it down and it, functioned well. So, I mean, yeah, weather sealed. Awesome. That feature, just to have that in a lens, is really, really cool. The weird thing about weather sealing is, yeah, that Sony A6400 and I believe the A6600 are both weather sealed camera bodies, which is great, but both the kit lenses that come with those cameras, whether it be the 16 to 50 or the 18 to 135, neither of those lenses are weather sealed. So it's like, why'd you do that, Sony? Why? Why'd you give us weather sealed camera bodies, but didn't give us weather sealed lenses? I don't know. So the options for weather sealed lenses were Sony native G Master lenses, which are well over $1,000, and that's pre-owned, or budget-friendly Sigma 16mm F1.4. This was just a better bang for the buck, and I decided to go that route, and I'm more than happy, more than satisfied with this purchase. Now, I am by no means a professional. I'm just a normal guy that likes to record stuff, that likes to vlog, likes to film tutorials, likes to test out new film equipment and technology, but I love this lens. Tons and tons of people swear by this lens. They say it's one of the best lenses you can buy for the E Mount or the aps-c sensor lenses, and I would have to agree. And the lens is very competitively priced. You can actually pick it up for about $399 on Amazon, and they actually bundle it with a bunch of cool extras, so that's a really, really good deal there. And if you're interested in picking it up, I'll put a link in the description down below if you want to check it out. But yeah, in a nutshell, I love this lens. It exceeded all my expectations. I'm thoroughly impressed, and I'm definitely going to be using it. I'm definitely going to utilize the amazingness, the awesomeness of this lens. So I'm really, really excited to start using it more in more of my videos. All right, so that's pretty much going to do it for me for today's video. If you enjoyed it or you found it helpful, please leave it a like. Please leave any questions or comments you have down below. And as always, please think about subscribing. And that's going to do it for today's video. I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.